Welcome back to Living Local. In a 2020 survey of registered dietitians in the U.S., the ketogenic diet, better known as just keto, was ranked the most popular diet in the country. And for those who are looking for keto-friendly grab-and-go options for the week, Chef Stu is here to share some meal prep tips. As always, Chef Stu, he's here. Thanks for stopping by, sir.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so let's talk about meal prepping just broadly, first of all. It's become very popular. Why do you think that is?
Time is money, right? Everything is priceless right now, especially because people can get out and go do things. I don't think they want to stand around in the kitchen. I'm sure people learned a lot of meal prep techniques while they were hiding in their houses.
Right.
But now they probably want to get that done and get it out of the way so they can move on with life. And I think that's how it's always been. Getting that meal prep done, then you don't have to think about it. You can just come home, eat. You can take it with you and eat. It's economical too, probably.
Yeah. No, okay, so what advice do you have for people who are trying to do this, prepare meals ahead of time and plan?
Sure, there's a lot of things to think about, but the most important thing is to keep it simple. Don't buy a bunch of stuff that you don't want to eat because you won't eat it. So it's good to just think ahead, buy the stuff you know you're gonna be able to snack on, whether you're actually in the mood for it or not, because that's kind of the thing. We prep ahead and they're like, you know, I don't know if I really feel like that today. Then you have stuff in the cupboard or you have stuff, you know, in the refrigerator and then in your lunchbox, and you're just like, So you waste a lot of time and energy doing that too.
Okay, so do's, don'ts, is there anything specific people need to know besides just buying things that you want ahead of time?
Yes, so one thing you want to think about is, well, this is specifically for keto.
Okay, yes.
And kind of the idea is that's a little tough. People get bored. People, you know, they're eating the same thing over and over. But in general, the point is think about what's going to last and what isn't. And if you want fresh or frozen and things like that, some things you can, if you buy it fresh, then you can cook it and then freeze it. If you buy it frozen, I don't recommend that you then cook it and then refreeze it. That's probably one of those no's on the list. But as far as like vegetables and things like that, you can do that ahead of time and just, you see them kind of wilting a little bit, throw it in a pot quick and cook it up and you're ready to go.
Nature's pause button in the freezer. Okay, so now let's get into some of the stuff you actually brought here today on the keto front.
Sure, I've got a ton of stuff here. The thing I wanted to get going in this skillet over here was some ahi. This is one of the things that has become fairly popular in the last few years. And so I'm just going to put a little grass-fed butter in here. Sometimes people are into dairy or not into dairy. You can use oil. I recommend something besides a soybean oil. Okay. You know, something like a rice bran or something like that. Sunflower oil is good. But I'm just going to sear this for a minute while I'm cutting this. But you can also just cut this raw and take it with you. So it's sushi grade, and you can just cut little cubes, and you can put a little bit of gluten-free soy sauce on it, or just a little bit of Himalayan pink salt, but just a little bit of onion and salt, or a little bit of oil, sesame oil, that would be really good. Okay. And that's good to go just as it is. So if you have some lettuce or something, you put that on there, and you're good. A little soy sauce, you've had your whole meal. And you took me about 4 seconds to cut that, right?
Yeah.
It does come in frozen, and so you want to just thaw it till you can just cut it, and then it will have the stayability. It'll cut nice corners, and it'll stay.
Won't get all soft and mushy and
stay cold. So we're just going to sear this on both sides. You can season this however you want. I usually like to use a little black pepper or a lemon pepper seasoning or something like that. Cajun seasoning all works good on this. Jamaican. But we're just going to sear both sides of that. While that's finishing up, I want to talk about some of the other stuff here. So this is chicken. This is a non-GMO chicken. It's a very healthy chicken. Nothing added to it. But I've done it a couple different ways. And that's the thing you want to do is kind of think of variety. So I've got a bag of chicken. If you just cook the whole bag of chicken, you're kind of stuck with it in that form. So I've done it in ways where I have cubes I can just use for bites and snacks. I have it like a fajita style I can do with some, you know, a few vegetables and put it on something.
Mix and match.
Some lettuce. And then I've got the dinner entree. But this is all ready to go. And so I can take it with me or I can warm it up. But I've done it all in it took me about 15 minutes start to finish. From package to refrigerator. So that was good. There's a couple of shrimp. Shrimp is not a big thing on keto because it doesn't have enough fat, but it is good and it tastes great and it is handy. And what I'm suggesting is that you put in a few things that aren't necessarily straight down the middle, so you have a little more variety. And then shrimp basically goes with anything else. So that's kind of fun.
Well, variety
right here in the
you
middle,
don't get burned out.
Yeah, right here in the middle I've got some cool egg things. So most people don't think of it, but does anybody have like the grandma that packed you a fried egg sandwich for school one day and you were like, what is that smell? But if you think ahead, so this one's fried hard, but this one is fried medium and has its own sauce in it. So you take that with you and it's really delicious. A little bit of salt and you're good to go with some ham or some steak that you have over here.
Sure.
That is just a great snack. This one over here is our riced eggs, okay? And we add Parmesan cheese to it and cook it up and it crumbles up nice, and then you can re-saute it with other vegetables and meats, and that's amazing. And then over here we have the meat platter. So we have roast grilled pork tenderloin. Pork is a big thing with people, especially in the summer and things like that, but tenderloin is really great. I mean, it's like the filet mignon of pork, and they're relatively inexpensive. You can grill the whole thing off, chuck it in the fridge, you can have it any way you want, and then of course we have our trusty steak bites.
Sure.
And so why buy beef jerky when you can, for less money, buy a steak and then cook it up, slice it, and take it with you? So that's kind of my fun stuff with the meat, and you can do all this. All this costs probably around $60 for everything on the table. And I have food for the week, and I can pack it and take it. And then this, I'm just going to do the same thing with. I'm going to slice it down the side, and that will hold in the refrigerator now for another couple of days.
And then you've got tons and tons of options, and all keto style too, important to know.
Right.
All right. Chef Stu, thanks so much for coming in again, as always. And if you would like more information on things that Chef Stu makes and offers on his menu, Zeke'sIslandCafe.com is the website. We'll also have those details posted on our website too at ourquadcities.com.